Hello. So decided to come outside today. Have a nice day. We got some sunshine, fresh air, nice trees behind me. But we also have some background noise. Hopefully, it won't be too distracting while we're out here filming this. So today, I wanted to kind of just real quick talk about the life of Jesus. This week is Holy Week as we prepare for Easter Sunday. And so you're going to hear a lot this week about the betrayal, the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Jesus. But before we could get to that point, we have to understand the reason Jesus was crucified was because he lived, and it's what he did while he was living that led to his crucifixion. Okay, and that's the example that Jesus left us. And kind of says, this is what you need to be doing. So the best way to summarize that is through Jesus' words himself. And then you can find it in Matthew 11, verse 2. I'll read verse 2 through 6. When John, speaking of John the Baptist, when John heard in prison what the Messiah was doing, he sent word by his disciples and said to him, "Are you the one who is to come, or are we to wait for another?" Jesus answered them, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor have the good news brought to them. And blessed is anyone who takes no offense to me." So right here, we see that this is what Jesus did. These things are what cost Jesus his life. And so these are the things that we are called to do as well. While Jesus had the power to heal, we also have the power to heal. We may not be able to restore sight or help restore someone's ability to walk or cleanse leprosy, deafness. I mean, we may not have the ability to do those things, but we can still provide healing by finding a way to bring someone sight, right? How can we help the lame walk? So for me, I think of with COVID-19 right now, one way that we can help the lame walk is we can go out and we can help the vulnerable population. So those in our families or our communities that we know that are at high risk for contracting this virus, we can help them by going out and getting food, getting whatever resources they might need, toilet paper, or different things that they might need. We go get it, take it, leave it on their porch, and let them know that we're doing that. That's a way you can help the lame to walk. The poor have the good news. And just be there to help and support people right now. That's really what we're called to do. And in doing so, we then bring forth and enact the kingdom of God here on earth by following the living example that Jesus gave us. And there's much more that you could go into. We also have later on in the chapter, when Jesus is trying to, or giving praise to John the Baptist and talking about how people went out and who John was, right? And then at the end, he says in verse 19, "The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, 'Look, a drunkard, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners.'" And so the other example that Jesus gives us here is to go out and find those who are outcasts from the church, those who would not feel welcome. They may be told they're welcome, but when they come, they're not really welcome. They may be judged, right? It's not our job to do that judging, but we are to go out and be friends with them. We are to go out and to interact with them and to just talk and encourage them, right? Because when you go and you sit down with those individuals, you'll hear their life story and you'll begin investing in them as people. And then that is one of the ways that you just bring the good news to people. That's what we're called to do, to bring the good news to people. So this week, as you reflect on Holy Week, and we think about the death and crucifixion, resurrection of Jesus, I really encourage you to think about why Jesus was crucified. And then I challenge you to live the life by the example that Jesus gives us, to reach out to those who are poor, to those who would be considered outcasts of the church, to those who are weak and they don't have anything, who are begging on the streets, who have lost their job, who are vulnerable and going out into community may be a little more dangerous for them right now. How can you help them? So that's your challenge this week. And thanks for your time. Look forward to talking to you next time.